So today I want to go take the dogs out to go play and
you
try to
doing?
get over my nervousness of the rattlesnake situation.
You're going to ease yourself into it?
I have to.
Yes.
But we go running through the field, so now I'm just like, "Oh, where am I supposed to play now?" Everything has ticks and rattlesnakes or leeches or some shit. Like, I get it all. The bobcats. I'm like, I have seen...
You can't forget the bobcats.
No, I'm just waiting for the quicksand. I'm waiting to step in the wrong patch of sand on a beach and be like, are you right here? No one told me.
This is the Sacramento Media Center podcast, and we are actually in studio recording this podcast.
Live in the Creator's Den.
In the Creator's Den, and that's one of the special things we wanted to present in this program. And what is the Creator's Den? April, explain to our audience.
I would like to think that it's a sophisticated space for you to talk with your clients, show different ideas, and do either like we're doing podcasting, so we're doing audio, but you can also have an environment to do your video, so you can kind of morph it and feel really good about it. So right now we're doing the podcast version for the first time.
Indeed.
And I'm sitting in a very comfortable leather chair in the corner with my feet kicked up on an elephant ottoman that's super adorable next to a fireplace. We have an electric fireplace in here that's so awesome. So it's comfy, and we are social distancing as well. This room is large enough that we can stay safe distance and, you know, still have that one-on-one conversation, which we're all looking for. That's essential part of life too, right?
Indeed.
We can't forget that.
Right. And this room is themed. There's no doubt. It's black with some lovely ceiling tiles, and it's got some nice adjustable lights. And with April's skills, she was able to make this place just pop. I mean, it's really lovely in here. How do I say it? You come into the room and it's like you're in a safari room, but it's a parlor. So in keeping with the theme of the room, we are enjoying some nice adult beverages
that have been aged with wisdom.
Yes. And it goes to the decor, of course. It's a great room that leaves an impression, just like our diner when people walk in. It is the first thing you see, the diner on the left, the Creator's Den on the right, and it is available and even used as a production office if you want to meet and greet people or just do your scheduling and use the computers that we provide here. We have a Mac and we also have a PC.
Go to our website and see the photos.
Plenty
and
of
the
photos.
little, everything about it.
Lots of photos there. And you're right. You can't describe it with the podcast. If anything we can do, we can express the wonderful, warm feeling we have when we sit in this very relaxing environment. When we have a long production day, it's nice to just come back here and just kick back and just decompress.
Yeah, because sometimes you don't want to go sit in the green room.
Right.
And we got rid of the conference room because now that has been morphed into a whole recording studio with Rosa Mortem Productions, and they're kicking ass in there.
Jesse and Ashley.
Yeah.
They're now the lieutenants
They're
there.
the little power duo. You know, they're a couple, but they're super creative and have been doing a lot. So they have a lot going on over there. So it was really cool. But we still needed our podcast. Like, I'm that dork. And we really like to do, and this is, we do your voiceovers, and you can do your ADR and things in this room if, something's going on in the Rosa Mortem, or it's just something really not on a bigger scale. So we really needed this office and creators space.
It's an excellent addition, and that's the exciting part too, because during the lockdown, even though we were still keeping pretty busy because we were providing great services for streaming and everything else, Jesse and Ashley put their efforts to redesigning the conference room and the original audio suite, and now I've turned into a full, complete audio studio with mix room, and it's immaculate.
In audio, meaning like musicians can go in there, drums can actually be set up.
Triple
they can
wall,
track all of your audio.
A floating floor, and it's so perfect in there if you want to do some nice audio recording. What's cool is that they have been getting some excellent bookings. And it's to the point where they're busy there that we had to do this room here because we needed to meet the need. And that was the really cool part. Meeting the demand that's there on our schedule. I mean, my goodness, it's amazing how full our calendar is.
Well, it's nice when people are starting to talk about it and then use it consistently. When it's used consistently.
And we're not talking about new clients, even though they call daily. We're also talking about repeat clients.
Right.
And both April and I and the rest of the people here in the studio really put our best foot forward and we are in the service industry when you look at that, and we do our best to make the job that you're bringing here work and be successful.
I've always thought it was weird when people don't think that their job is a service job. I'm like, every job and everything you do for someone else is of service. And that's what SAC Media Center is, though, because every single person has in here there's individual offices, and every single office houses a different business, and everybody has different skill sets. And that's what's cool about this space, because like we might be sitting in the creator's den, but this really is a creators collective in this building, so we can have different resources. And if maybe we don't know something, or there's someone in the building that has an expertise in that area at any given time.
Very true. And we get calls, hey, we like to rent your facility. By the way, what do you have there that we could also add on to it? The original presentation we do on our website is, look, here's a nice Studio A, Studio B with green room, diner, also the Creator's Den. It's a business-to-business offering, but you bring your own gear or you bring your own crews. We're here to make that available for you. It's like rent the space.
Right.
And then when it becomes, well, how about, do you have a good director of photography, or how about a good audio engineer? Well, yes, we have a whole list of people, not only in-house, as we would call it, because we have all these other creatives.
But they're busy too at
they're
times.
Very busy.
So I'm like, who are your people?
So
we get to know other people's crews very well.
We do, and I actually sometimes would even go to, especially on the local level, when they do call sheets from other production companies who come to Sacramento, I'll go onto the call sheets and say, oh, this person was great too. So it's great that we were able to, more and more now, provide the service of referrals.
I made him feel silly just then because I pulled out the camera and was taking his pictures. So that was what just happened. I'm going to make him keep this part of it in there, because normally I'd be like, yo, you have to take that out.
You know, as much as I like to hear my own voice, I guess, I am shy, still shy.
He's shy. Yeah, everybody. But that's with anybody. As soon as you pull the camera out, they're just like, so what was I just doing?
Yeah, I just.
They're like, you are the talent on camera today. You did forget that? Yes?
Exactly. It happens. It happens. But it's interesting how we're becoming more of a resource for referrals. Now, I can see why that's kind of a value there, because you can do websites, you can do listings. I mean, we got several listings in Northern California that you can put your name and everything else. And then, but you know,
but that gets daunting to go through, and it's intimidating to go through.
And it's not always updated when you think about it. For instance, you look up teleprompter operators, even in the Bay Area. You don't see many listings. And even if there is any listings, the person moved to Idaho.
Right.
And that happens a lot.
Well, especially during this pandemic, so many people have uprooted and gone to completely other areas where you're like, oh, wait, that person just left? Wow.
So being kind of the central hub of seeing the recent activity, we know who's really in play now and still who's available. We don't take it lightly that when we make referrals, we're doing our best to make sure we refer the right people for the right job. And if we can do that, we'll do that. And we love to build our list. Right. So if you're interested, say, hey, look, I'd like to offer my services. Send us an email and send us a link. And here's the thing. Either you're in audio, you're doing makeup, you're doing teleprompting, you're doing boom pole operating.
Are you a builder? Because so many sets need to get built.
If you don't have at least not a web page, but at least something in Facebook.
You need an email address, people.
Email address as well.
And check it. Give it something that you are literally going to check. If you only check your social media, give the appropriate social media we should be messaging you through. Like, how do we reach you?
Exactly.
If not, we will not reach you ever.
And there's lots of choices to do so, but you got to make it consistent, and you must respond quickly, because that's how you get the referrals. Show your work too. I mean, there's pictures or video or even links of some work you've done before from another production. You can say, look, I was the audio on this one. Send us that link, because that's your portfolio. And it costs you nothing to create your list of here's what we've done in the last 3 years, 5 or 10 years.
I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you off because that's a whole other tangent. You're just going to poo-poo on people that are really trying to work and trying to update and do some shit and shifties.
Ooh, okay.
So don't poo-poo on the people hustling right now.
True.
Like, it's fucking hard.
Well, here's a question for you. If you're hustling...
Or shifting. Like, maybe they now have to shift. They've lost their job. And they're like, what can I do now to make my money? I'm not going to be great. Maybe I don't want to show this. Like, that's a whole other topic.
True. You always want to show your best work if you can. But I think some people are, I could be wrong. I mean, you do want to put your best foot forward, and everyone knows that when they look at a portfolio. But if you don't have anything on there, go out there and make something, even if you're not being paid for it. Even though
if you're interning, if you've interned with that, me, I know that you don't always have things. Like I started my career, really, it's been over 20 years where I started doing stuff, and we didn't have the cell phones and the social media and the places to post and to do that stuff. And we weren't just given links. Like, you really had to fight to get anything. Like, can I have a copy of the commercial I shot? Like, where? It's over on the East. Like, it was really, 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 really difficult to get those things. So people just had to trust what you put on your line. Like, what is on your resume? True. These are the things I did. This is what I've been. True. This is it. So, there is a little bit more demand of saying, show me, because we live in that world of everything now is on cell phone. You can create at all points, but...
And I will backtrack here and totally agree with you, because I do remember those times when it was impossible to get a copy of a commercial or a TV show you did.
I mean, I had to like literally put my headshot in an envelope and send it in. I mean, this was the paper days. Days. And you had to have your resume not like... attached appropriately on the back of your headshot.
And that wasn't that long ago.
No.
And you're correct. And so, well, let me ask you a question, because this is a great place to talk about this. Today now, because we have YouTube, we've got Facebook, video, Twitch.
All of it. Right.
Links that's shared a lot. We also do photographs with our phones. And depending on the set you're working on, whether they allow photos or not, most don't. Some do. The thing is that there's stuff that can show you in action, but there's also people you've worked with too who may send you a nice note. That's a recommendation.
Those is nice. Right.
Those are very nice. And those things, I think, if you had a chance to, let me ask you, is it a lot better than it used to be 10, 20 years ago that you have resources to show, hey, this is what I've done? Because you can now link it and present it in a web page or a Facebook page?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
like back in the day, it really was based off of people referring you. Like, I got booked and I did all of my stuff off the word of mouth of other people. So it's your reputation really, like, by other people's mouth, not by what they're seeing of that you're creating, but like literally, who are you? And I want you around, and this is what they can do.
The most work that people get who are successful in business of any type, it's always going to be 90% referral.
You have to really watch it. Like, we still are here in the studio. I mean, watching other people's production and having to run up and going, I loved your PA. She kicked ass. He kicked ass. Right. They kicked ass. They were attentive. They knew when to stay out of the way. They knew when to get in the way. They knew when to, like, you have to pay no matter what your role is. I don't care from director to grip to teleprompter. Like, you pay attention, know your role, what lane you're supposed to be in, and then you can see what else is going on. Like, you can get your team members back, you can do stuff, but also know your stuff at least a little. Like, do a little homework before you get on a set or on a production. Like, at least now you don't have any. For me, you don't have an excuse, because you have the Google and the YouTube right at your fingertips. That if you don't know something, your ass better be in a corner or in the bathroom for a little longer than you feel comfortable looking that up, so that way you come back out ready and correct.
Yep.
Excuse my blunt, but I'm like, that's just how it is. Like, I'm going to love you, but you better be resourceful.
Well, we had a production here a while ago, and this young lady was working with us as the PA. She was wonderful. We saw her in action, and she was great. And here's the funny part, and this is something that's got to be clear here. If you're doing your best to stay out of the way and feel like, well, okay, I'm going to do my part, and you think you're not being noticed, guess what? You are being noticed.
It's just like how they say with sound. Like, you don't want your name to really be out of mouths of people until they need to be out of, like, oh, that's how I got the recommendations, because no one had to be like, that April all day long. Like, no, they were able to shut up and relax instead of having to be like, where the hell is April? Like, you never, ever, ever want that to be the case. You never want that to be the case.
Exactly. Again, let me give an example why I also still encourage folks, if whatever work you do, have it as a portfolio of any type. Even if it's just a few comments that people worked with, who sent you recommendations or just want to send you a nice note. Having that somewhere that's available, or whether it's photos, audio, whatever, still have that, because I may know that you are good at this, but when I get a client who's out of Michigan saying, look, we're coming in, flying in, get me someone who's really good at this. I said, well, I got this person. Do they have any samples? When I hear that, I said, well, I can understand. You don't know who I am really. You know me by my website. You really want me to, say, give you referrals because I know more people here and I can give you good recommendations. But yeah, you want me to back that up as well. And that's where that helps.
Right.
It really does. I may know that.
A lot of people look at those social media handles now, like their Instagram, like that's, it's as easy as that. Like you just need to,
Instagram.
You don't have to build a website, is like what John is saying, is like there are ways now that you can show your work. And even on those little things, just having people writing good comments about you and having your team members being like, it was fun working for you today. That's out in the open. Like, it's as easy as kind of that. And then put that in your LinkedIn in those different places and platforms so people can see, how you respond to people. Don't be a dick, because that's looked at as well. Like, if you are poo-poo in those platforms, you probably are going to be a poo-poo on set, too, and we don't want that either.
That's exactly right. So, I mean, for people like me or anyone else who may call you, hey, look, have a resource available to when someone says, hey, send me some of your samples. Right. Samples.
Right.
I read something really interesting, and we're going to wrap this up pretty soon here. I love the groups on Facebook, especially there's a commercials videographers group. One guy was posting, hey, what do you think is your best ideas to... Hold on.
No, I'm going to get it. I'm just telling you I'm going to do it, but you can edit that out.
April's getting another pour.
I heard that whisper into the microphone.
But it was a good question about, aside from referrals, catch fire. Her favorite. Aside from most of the work that he gets, this question was, I get a lot of referral, but what if I want to go after a certain kind of product or industry? Even though I know if I pitch or try to open doors that way, I'm not very successful. What is your suggestions when you do that? And I thought, when I want to hit up something I'd like to put more of my efforts towards, let's say like a jazz ensemble and doing live recordings of that, I don't just knock on doors. I say, look, I know someone. I'm going to drag him in here. Now, granted, there's an investment in time and sometimes cost.
Right.
But if I can do some small little sampling of this, I can take that and go to town. It's back to show us. You can tell us, you can do pictures, you can do drawings, but show us.
Right.
And I got to tell you, I've seen more successes when we show what we can do.
Heck yeah.
And even if it's just a quick proof of concept.
For certain people, it's harder to show, like, the boom mic holder. Like, there are certain roles that it really is difficult to show your work. And, like, no, that was really me. So can someone just maybe vouch? Or that's why now you can almost just have someone take your picture on set.
That's perfect, because here's what you do.
Get approval, because you have to know what you can post, because we work on sets a lot of time where we're not allowed to post anything until we're given the okay.
Yeah, it's a social media
and sometimes
lockdown.
We're never given the okay, so we can never post.
And we've had some famous people who we don't say a thing. We can't.
You can't.
And that's the rules. But at the same time, though, we were just talking about have someone take a picture of the set. A boom pole operator.
Right.
Who has the skills, hey, I got long arms and I can hold this thing up forever. Well, then go out with a boom pole, bring your friend, use your cell phone, have someone who is another friend, and just walk down a long sidewalk and show how you can keep up with a person. And just do that as a simple demo. This is what I can do. Show my skill sets. Now, is that a real production? No, but it's showing what you can do, and that's so easy to do.
Like, how long can you hold it in that position?
all our cell phones can take great video now.
Right.
And so the cost to be able to self-promote is getting better, I think.
It's literally the cost of whatever you want your cell phone plan to be, or any extra gear. Like if you want to get a little cell phone gimbal, like I've got several of those. But I do live hosting a lot of the time with my cell phone.
And there you go. And you do. And it's worked really well for you, too.
But I'm also able to create, like John is saying, a demo reel right then and there. Like, that is everything in action, videoed. It's me. Like, you just piece a couple things together, you're good to go.
Indeed. I agree.
Yeah, so.
Well, we end our podcast with this lovely conclusion of enjoying our final sips of our drinks here in the creator's den, kind of like a parlor look.
But it has a big window, you guys. That's the one thing we didn't mention, and what I keep just looking at, like, and what I love about this office space and this creative space is it has a very big window, so you don't feel like you're. He said black walls. Yes, it's very dark, but it's also
with style.
It has the light that comes through. So
yes, it does. It's got a classy look to it.
This has been fun to sit here in here because we've not done this one yet.
Yep, this is our first time, so we wanted to introduce you to this. And please go to our website, have a look at the pictures, and please drop by if you like. We always give tours.
And if there's things that we should be talking about, or you have questions you want us, a topic you want to cover, you're interested in getting into this industry, maybe we need to bring some people in that are grips or that are part of lighting or that are things,
We'd love
Let
to hear
send
what you
us
have to
messages.
say.
Like, we're kind of intrigued to know who's out there in the community because it's changed a lot and a lot of you are new and
That's
we
true.
are new to you. So
That's true.
we welcome your comments and your messages.
Reach out to us at sacmediacenter.com.
Yep.
And again, April, a real pleasure.
Always.
Thanks for hanging out with me.
Yes, it's been fun. Bye, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.